I've been asked to make video content about why the pursuit of what we typically put in this North Star position of desire, especially when it is external, these worldly pleasures, why that is empty. And therefore, the title of the video being The Indirect Path is a parody on what is the direct path in the spiritual traditions, which is when you turn inwards most efficiently to uncover the kingdom of God within and to realize the infinite oneness that everything is. And so the indirect path is when you don't turn inward. The indirect path is when you hold on to your identity of separation, when you hold on to all of the constructs that you've built subconsciously about what you need to obtain in order to be whole, in order to be validated, in order to be seen, in order to be happy and peaceful. And so the most common ones that are pursued are these. So the first one is shopping or consumerism. There's a whole branch around retail therapy that is being studied, where people think that based on purchasing material items that they are going to feel better, they are going to heal their depression, they're going to heal their anger, they're going to heal their anxiety, they're going to heal their sadness. But the exact opposite is true. You get a little hit of dopamine when you get something new, and then you realize how empty it is. If you practice realizing how empty a new materialistic possession is, then you will soon very clearly figure out that everything is based in consciousness. Everything's based in awareness. Everything is based here fundamentally and not in the object itself. You get a new pair of headphones. Let's say it's a really nice pair of Bose headphones that are $300. And then what happens is that you realize right away, rather than months down the line when the pair of Bose headphones falls onto the ground or you lose them or whatnot, that you realize right away that the Bose headphones are there just to serve your consciousness. They're there just to serve your awareness. They're there just for you to more optimally execute your goals, just like this computer is. There's no materialistic connection anymore to the computer. There's no consumeristic connection anymore to the computer. The computer itself, these cameras themselves, are meant just to actualize the goal. For example, the Rolex or the yacht or the sports car or the house in the suburbs or any materialistic, consumeristic possession is almost always used as something to attain happiness or attain peace or attain validation or worthiness or fulfillment. But instead, I'm asking you to shift your lens, where instead of buying the nice pair of headphones in order for you to feel happy, instead of buying the computer for you to feel happy, what you're doing is you're buying the possession like a computer to optimize your North Star, to optimize you executing your biggest goals. And that's a big shift from I'm going to get this sports car in order for me to get a romantic relationship, in order for me to attract friends that see how rich I am. Completely different perspective shift. And you have to do that with this first one around shopping and consumerism and materialism in order for you to see how empty it all is. It's empty. It's empty. The new dress, the new suit, the new watch, the new car, the new house, the new stocks in your portfolio, the new even simple things like this is a pair of headphones that is not Bose, and it's a sixth of the price of the Bose ones, but they do an incredible job, and I've had them for several years. And so just to say that there's no need to go and buy the Bose ones. Do you see the difference? When you've had a phone for 2 years and it still works well, there's no real need to go and get the next one. Just wait until that phone or that computer no longer can technologically do what it's supposed to do, or you need a greater chip in order to process the software that you're running for 3D animation or whatever you're doing, and then get the next piece of technology. So you see, I've had this camera equipment for almost 4 years now. I don't need to make an upgrade in the equipment. It still does its job fantastically. So you see, this is the difference. You're using the technology, you're using the equipment to actualize a North Star. You're not using the technology or the equipment to be like, hey guys, look at me. I have the newest version of this computer. Look at me. You should be friends with me based on how wealthy I am, based on how much stuff I own. You see? So this is the shift with the first one. Shift it to helping you actualize your North Stars rather than trying to extract peace and happiness through shopping, consumerism, and materialism. And that's already a massive shift inward towards the direct path. Everything's based in your consciousness and your awareness. It's up to you to shift your perspective perpetually to peace and joy, using the breath to tap more into that oneness and less into that separation. The second one's also really common. It's also known as the relationship fallacy. If you watch that episode on Mirror Talks on Bentinho Massaro's channel, it's a really good one. We think that we can obtain peace and happiness and joy by a partner. You can't. You can't. People want to own another person. You can't. You can't fill a void in yourself with another person. You can't. You'll learn that the hard way. It's the indirect path. You don't want to try and get happiness and peace from a boyfriend or from a girlfriend or from a husband or from a wife or from a family or from kids. You're not going to get fulfilled that way. The only way to get fulfilled is to turn inward and feel the already always wholeness of the God-realized state, where you become the sun that perpetually, unconditionally, lovingly is always full and shining. So all of the indirect path things can be viewed as clouds. So you're clouded by thinking that your cup is only half full, and the way to fill the other half of your cup is by getting a boyfriend or a girlfriend. It's not. It would actually be most useful to you, most likely, to spend significantly less time or even completely deleting, in fact, the hookup culture applications from your smartphone. Spend way less time in shopping malls. You see, for several years, I've been wondering if time spent in shopping malls is correlated with lower actualization. And I would say that that's fairly true. The more time you spend in shopping malls, the less actualized you are. And the same thing's true with spending more time on hookup culture applications, the less actualized you are. So by spending less time in shopping malls, by spending less time on trying to seek a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or a wife or a family or kids in order to fulfill you, what you will do is you'll inherently to make the turn inward rather than trying to seek things externally, and you're going to become more interested in consciousness, more interested in awareness, more interested in this kingdom of God within, in unlocking this infinite oneness. And when you do that process, you recognize more and more that all these bullshit subconscious beliefs that you picked up throughout your life that are focused around unworthiness or needing to get validation or peace and joy from externally, all of that bullshit dissolves. And when that bullshit dissolves, it is so freeing because you recognize that you are already 100% whole. You don't need a one-night stand. You don't need somebody to cuddle you in bed at night. You don't need somebody to look at you in the eyes and tell you, oh, you're so worthy to me, that you're so loving to me, and I love you so much. That you don't need to hear those things in order to be whole. That's the difference. Now, some people are blueprinted for the process of finding someone to mate with and then to bring in a pack of like 2 or 3 kids into the world, that then those kids have their own unique journeys and explorations, right? So some people are truly blueprinted for that process. So many of you are going through the process of figuring out that you're going through the lesson of, oh, fuck, this consumeristic possession didn't make me happy. Boom, beautiful lesson that you've learned, right? Or what you can do is you can listen to this message and be like, might it be that this piece of life has already went through that process and they're communicating to me so that I don't repeat the same mistake in the same lesson, so that you can have this rare candy, you can level up faster. You can make the realization of the emptiness of the external pursuit faster. If you make the realization of the emptiness of the external pursuit faster by listening to the people that have been there, you will actualize and realize way faster the nature of reality and your own unique gift that you're bringing to society. Okay, the next one is another classic one, which is that I'm going to get fulfilled by substances like alcohol and cannabis and psychedelics, entheogens, or I'm going to get fulfilled by going out to clubs and bars and concerts or by traveling the world. You have to recognize the emptiness of that. So, for example, 10 years ago, there was a process for me also of binging on alcohol, binging on cannabis, binging on these substances, and binging on going to the clubs and the bars, and binging on traveling and doing the things that you have to do in order for you to learn the lesson that those things are empty. And so take this again. Are you drinking a lot right now? Are you smoking a lot right now? Are you trying to be happy by going to travel to a bunch of places around the world? Are you thinking that going to concerts or raves, taking MDMA, ecstasy, do you think that those things are bringing you happiness? Because if you simply shift your perception from I'm going to go out to alcohol and clubs and bars and traveling the world and concerts to bring me happiness and joy, if you make the shift in perception to actually I am peace and happiness and joy. My truest nature is an infinite, indescribable oneness. My nature is already wholeness, and I don't need alcohol or cannabis or entheogens or concerts or raves or traveling in order to feel whole. Now, what I can do is if I'm very excited about within my blueprint to go and study Greek philosophy, I may go and travel to Athens, and I may go and immerse myself there for 3 weeks just enjoying the studying of Greek philosophy. That's completely different from I'm going to travel to Berlin and go and take a bunch of substances, bunch of clubs, and realize the emptiness of it. Now that, again, it might be in your blueprint to go through that process and learn those lessons. Learn about the emptiness of all of these things. For example, with entheogens, this is really important. If you can imbibe an entheogen, like magic mushrooms, let's say, and if you can uncover what it is trying to tell you on the first go or the first 2 or 3 goes, then retain that, reflect on that sort of decentralized infinite oneness that these magic mushrooms are trying to tell you, and then don't go through the process of needing to continuously redose on it over and over and over again because you've gained an attachment to what they show you, rather than recognizing that you are in your own nature what they are showing you. You are already the infinite oneness. They're just removing the clouds to help you recognize you're the sun. So then just retain yourself energetically as the sun. Money, job, security, safety. This is another big one. Culture, subconscious programming telling you that you need money, you need a job, you need a 9-to-5, you need safety, you need security, you need these things. When it's actually the opposite. You don't need any of those things. The opposite is most true, which is that whatever you're blueprinted for, find that first, and then you will have abundance come to you. So rather than going and getting locked up in the 9-to-5 cycles, instead turn inward, identify what you're blueprinted for first, and then from there, what you'll notice is that whatever you pursue, that everything else that you need will follow in your wake. And it follows a very karma yoga process where you have no interest in the fruits, but they come to you regardless. So the money or the success or some of the possessions like technology that you need to help you actualize your goals will come and follow you in your wake, but you have no attachment to them. You have no dependency on the fruits. You have no interest in the fruits. They just come to you. And then you keep actualizing your goals, which are in service to other people. They're not in service to yourself. You have to flip that as quickly as you can, that you're not here to try and extract things, but rather you're here to be in service to that infinite oneness awakening. Validation, need, lack, want, desire. Recognize that you're not here to feel lack and to feel that you need to be validated, but rather that you're already coming from a place of wholeness. And if you put in your North Star position of desire, if you put recognizing the kingdom of God that is already within you, or recognizing infinite oneness, or actualizing your greatest gifts and goals, what's going to happen is you'll perpetually come from that place instead of coming from a place of, oh, I don't feel whole right now, so I need validation and I need materialistic possessions and I need a boyfriend or a girlfriend and I need alcohol and clubs and I need these things that are completely empty, but that I'm here to learn the lesson of them being empty. So try and shortcut that process as much as you can. That's the direct path. The direct path is recognizing the emptiness of externalities and worldly pleasures as quickly as possible, so that you can, just like in the parable of the prodigal son, that you can turn inward. So recognize the emptiness of all of the externalities, of all the worldly pleasures. This is the direct path, is to recognize the emptiness of the indirect path so that you can turn inward and then feel the God, Son, infinite oneness radiance that is your truest nature, and then perpetually be in service, shepherding the creation awakening. I hope that was helpful. I love you. Thank you. And recognize the emptiness of all of the externalities as quickly as you can. And make incremental changes. Like if you need to delete all of those hookup culture apps on your phone, or if you need to spend less time in shopping malls, or if you need to spend less time drinking alcohol and going out to clubs, then do those things. Pick up Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now. Pick up Rupert Spire's Transparency of Things, or pick up Nisargadatta Maharaj's I Am That, and Adyashanti's End of Your World. If you pick up these books and you spend more time reading them, if you spend more time turning inward, if you spend more time investigating who am I truly, you will recognize that there is a well of honey that's infinite, that's located right here underneath of the rock, that you're not as tapped into because you've atrophied the muscle of recognizing how profound the kingdom of God is, of just being aware or being conscious of that infinite oneness that we truly are. So do like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, comment below with where you're at in this process, share the video with other people that you feel like it would resonate with. That's all. Infinite love. Thank you.